Okay, today we're looking at section 5.6, writing linear equations in standard form, and we're modeling real life situations with standard form on page 308 in the textbook. First thing we got is the definition of standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. All of this part after ax plus by equals c, where it says a, b, and c are real numbers. All we'll ever deal with in here is real numbers or real numbers. And as far as a and b not being zero, that only apply when you're talking about horizontal and vertical lines and stuff like that. But ax plus by, when you're talking about standard form, something times x plus something times y equals c, or ax plus by. Oftentimes, b and a will be ones, and you'll have something that looks like this, like 3x plus y equals -2. Again, I'm just making something up real quick. Notice there's nothing that shows in front of that y right there, but your b value is what's not shown. It's that invisible coefficient, which would be 1 if you were looking for a b value right there. Okay, example number 1 says writing a linear equation. Write the standard form of an equation of a line passing through -3, 2 with a slope of 4. People are having issues with remembering what the slope is. Remember, slope looks like two little mountain peaks. Think about going up and down as a slope. Your m value is -4. X always comes before y, so x comma y, or x sub 1, y sub 1, as you're looking at it, as it's the only point. Uh, First thing we want to do is, since we have a point and we have a slope, that is point slope, that lends itself to the point slope form. That's what we're looking at. That's the last thing we looked at before the break. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. That's all we're going to do for this, and we'll look at that right now. It says you're given a point and a slope, so we use that form there. We'll plug our values in. We've already identified what they all are. Easiest way to do it is to put y minus and skip yourself a space equals, skip the space for m, and then x minus, and we'll skip the space for x sub 1. Easiest value to plug in is your m value, -4. So in place of m, we'll plug in -4. Next values you plug in y minus y sub 1. Our y sub 1 value is 2, so y minus 2. Again, just plugging it in place of y sub 1. And x minus x sub 1, x sub 1's value is -3. So in place of x sub 1, we're plugging in -3. Very important that you have minus a negative right here, because minus a negative will become +3. Notice that's on this line here. Minus a -3 becomes x plus 3. So y minus 2 equals -4 times x plus 3. That is your point slope form, because it shows you a point and it shows you a slope. Then what you need to do is you need to simplify it using the distributive property. When you multiply -4 times x, you get -4x, and -4 times 3, you get -12. So on this step shown here, y minus 2 equals -4x minus 12. Last thing you need to do is move everything over to where it says standard form again is a times x plus b times y equals c. So the only thing we want is the constant by itself. As you're looking at this side right here, -4x minus 12, you want to move that -4x over to the other side. That's all we're doing here. In order to undo -4x or -4x, you add 4x. So plus 4x on the right, we'll cancel it out. And there's no x term on the left, so all we can do is put it on the front of it. Plus 4x becomes positive 4x. And notice on this line, positive 4x plus y. Well, the last thing we need to do is get rid of this y minus 2. And I know I kind of lost a couple of people when I said that just now. What we're doing is in 2 steps, and I'll show the 2 steps out here on the right. At this part here, it says y minus 2 equals -4x minus 12. And we'll take this in 2 steps. First thing you want to do is move your x term over, because it has to say ax plus by equals c. Undo minus 4x by adding 4x. If you add 4x to the right, add 4x to the left. Okay? You can't add 4x to y or to -2, because they're all not like terms. So what we have now is a positive 4x, a positive y, and a -2 or -2 equals, these will cancel out and leave you with -12. The only thing you have to do at this step is you got to get the -2 to move over to the right side. Just like we moved the -4x to the left, we want to move the -2 to the right. -2, you undo that by adding 2. If you add 2 to the left, go ahead on and add it to the right, and you have 4x plus y, it's still positive. These will cancel, equals -12 plus 2 is -10. And this is standard form ax plus by. Notice your b value is not shown because it's an invisible 1 coefficient, equals c. 4x plus y equals -10. Next example deals with horizontal and vertical lines. Write the standard form of these. A says of a horizontal line, says the horizontal line has a point of -3, -2. Remember, horizontal, think of it as the horizon going across. Its y coordinate is -2. So as it's going across each time, it doesn't matter where you plug it in, each value of y will be -2. So horizontal line, when you're talking about standard form, ax plus by equals c, you just don't have an x value shown. All it does with this one is it eliminates this part here and just leaves you with by equals c, or in this case, 1y equals -2. By equals c. When you're talking about vertical lines, your x value will always be 2 as you're going with this vertical line. No matter where you plug in your y value, your x value is always going to be, x value is always going to be 4. I was looking at the other one. The x value is always going to be 4. Again, ax plus by, just like when we were talking about our y and x intercepts, equals c. This one's the same thing, except you don't have, it eliminates the by part, and you're left with x equals 4. So this would be 1x equals 4, or ax plus by equals c. Again, horizontal and vertical lines don't act any different than the ones we've already looked at. Just showing you how they line up with the standard form. As you're looking at the checkpoint, write the standard form. What you need to do is you need to write your point slope form first and then convert it into standard form. So for this first one, we have a point and we have the slope given to us. X sub 1, y sub 1. Easiest way to do it is to label them, and your m value already shown is -3. So you need y minus equals, and then x minus, and we'll plug the values in that we have. Y minus y sub 1 is y minus 5 equals m's value, which is -3, times x minus x sub 1's value, which is x minus 2. So we have y minus 5 equals -3 times x minus 2. Then convert it to standard form by simplifying everything. -3 needs to distribute times x minus 2. -3 times x is -3x. And -3 times -2 is +6. Only thing we need to do now is we need to move our x term over. -3x needs to go to the left. In order to undo -3x, you add 3x. If you do it on the right, you need to add 3x on the left. Notice you can't add 3x to either y or -5, so it stands alone as 3x positive y -5 or -5 equals, these two will cancel each other out and leave you with just 6. Only thing you need to do now is you need to move the constant term -5 over to the right, undo -5 by adding 5, and if you add it on the left, you need to add it on the right. So 3x plus y, these will cancel, equals 11, and that's where 3x plus y equals 11 comes from. For the second one, you have 4, -1 as your point, and your m value is 0. Notice your slope value is 0. As we work through this one, though, you have x sub 1, y sub 1. And as you get a little quicker at this, you'll notice when you have a slope value of 0, you know right away a slope value of 0 is a horizontal line. But as you plug it in, y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Plug in your values in. Y minus y sub 1 will be minus a -1 equals m's value is 0 times x minus x sub 1 is -4. Minus a negative means y plus 1 equals 0 times anything is going to be equals 0. Then to get y by itself, just get rid of y minus 1 by plus 1 by subtracting 1. If you subtract it there, you need to subtract it there. These will cancel, equals -1. Notice that's the same thing we have. Again, that is a horizontal line based on the fact that your slope value is 0. And then the last one from the first checkpoint, you have a slope value of 2 and a point of -4, +6, x sub 1, y sub 1. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Plug in your values in. M is usually the easiest value to plug in place of m. Okay. Y minus y sub 1 becomes y minus 6 equals 2 times x minus x sub 1 is x minus a -4. So this becomes y minus 6 equals 2 times x plus 4. You need to get rid of 2 times x plus 4 by distributing 2 times x, which is 2x, and 2 times 4, which is a +8. Notice at this step right here, you can combine 2 steps right here, and you could actually move your positive 2x over to the left by subtracting it on both sides. And you can move your -6 over to the right by adding it on both sides. So you can actually accomplish both of those on the same step. So what you're left with is a -2x, positive y. Notice we didn't do anything with these two. We just wrote them side by side. -6 plus 6 cancels each other out. 2x minus 2x cancels each other out. And 8 plus 6 equals 14. -2x plus y equals 14. Again, this step here was just combining the 2 steps that we shown in 2 separate steps here. And then the last set of the checkpoints, 4, 5, and 6. For the first one, we need to find our slope first. You can notice quickly that since they have the same x value, that it's going to be a vertical line. But if you didn't notice that m equals the change of y minus over the change of x, and we'll work quickly through this where we can finish up in 15 minutes. So 1 minus 7 over 3 minus 3. Notice 3 minus 3 gives you 0 at the bottom. 1 minus 7 is inconsequential. That means it is going to be a vertical line. Anytime you have 0 at the bottom, it can't be that. So your x value has to be 3. X value is 3. Find your slope for your second one. Finding your slope would be 3 minus a -4 or 3 plus 4 over 5 minus a -2 or 5 plus 2. So 3 plus 4 is 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. So your slope value is 1. So if we write it in point slope form, we'll use this as x sub 1 and y sub 1. And we'll use our m value we just found as 1. So y minus, and then skip yourself a space, x minus, and skip yourself a space. Plug in your values. M's value is 1. Y minus y sub 1's value is -4. And x minus x sub 1's value is -2. Y minus a -4 becomes y plus 4 equals 1 times x minus a -2 becomes x plus 2. Simplify that and you have y plus 4. 1 times both of these won't change either one of them. 1 times x is x and 1 times 2 is +2. And write it in standard form by moving your x term over by subtracting it, and your +4 term over by subtracting it on both sides. So we'll subtract 4 on the right, and we'll subtract x on the left. -x, positive y. Notice we didn't move either one of those. We just wrote them next to each other. These will cancel, equals, these cancel. 2 minus 4 is -2. So x minus y equals 2. I'm going to look back at that one in just a minute. Let's finish up this video real quick. M's value, as we're looking at these, you need to find your slope. -2 minus 8 over 2 plus 1. -2 minus 8 is -10. 2 plus 1 is 3. And we'll get to 10x plus 3y equals 14. And we'll show the rest of this as we work through it in just a minute, where we don't run out of time with this. I'll go quickly through it. 5 minus 8 equals -10 over 3 times x plus 1.